Ready? Roll call.
Hold on.
No,
It's
we'll do roll call.
okay, you
It's
can
already in the box.
enjoy yourself.
I have,
Oh, yeah, when does she want
I have like 1,000, you know.
Councilmember Yaffe.
Of course I have it.
I'm here.
Councilmember Chakotay.
Here.
Councilmember Sauber.
Physically present.
Councilmember Reed.
Mentally?
Councilmember Leonard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fuller.
Here.
Mayor Bruder.
Here.
All present.
Okay. Presentation of BGIT of
$5,000. Mayor, Brian is our insurance rep, and he represents us in insurance matters. And if you do a really good job, sometimes you get money turned back to you. Brian, you want to come up?
Actually, I'm not. Oh, no, it's Middleton.
Chris.
Madam Mayor, Council, City Administration, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Chris Kittleson. I'm with Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust, and tonight I'm here to provide a ceremonial presentation of your Preferred Tips Award, which is a $5,000 award that the town received. The TIPS program basically provides a safety incentive for safety equipment or safety training that was purchased by the town. It works very simply as such that we provide a 50% reimbursement for safety equipment or safety training up to a maximum of $5,000 per policy year. So you've got the real check already.
Yes.
You've got the good stuff. And tonight, if I may indulge the council, I'd like to take some pictures that we
The big check.
put in our newsletter, and I can send them to you as well if you are so inclined to do so, as well as put it on our website. So
Absolutely.
anybody that wants to get in on the shot is more than welcome. So,
Let's go, Council.
Yeah, well, no.
You all go?
okay, great.
I think you wanted to mention that this was due to the efforts of Vicky Motola presenting.
Vicky.
Yes.
Come on up to the photos. You're coming up to the photo.
Come, Vicky.
Congratulations. I got to call my Edwin manager.
I saw a movie where it was supposed to be the real check, right? Can you afford flatter shoes?
Vicky, up front. Come on. Vicky, let's hold the check. Come on. Come stand next to Stephanie and hold the check.
Something like that, wow. Usually.
Gotta judge it.
Save free money.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to take a bunch. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Aren't you supposed to be in it?
I can be in it, sure.
Come on in. Come on. You gave us the money.
Do
You're
it,
so
do
awesome.
it.
Here, I'll move over here. You can stand here.
Oh, no,
Here we go. Okay, everybody's good? On three. Again, three again. One last time. Big smiles. Great, very good.
Thank you so much.
With the check, remember?
I learned something.
Okay, we don't want time.
Not a lot of time is the understatement.
Check. You have to go to a big bank.
Okay, request for withdrawals, deferments, and future agenda items. All right, Elizabeth?
I was just asking if we can please prioritize some, like number 5 is a big one that we have tonight. If we could prioritize to make sure we get that done.
Okay. Kelly?
I would like to say, after the discussion we had about these big homes, that we should bring that ordinance back and just, not do a big workshop, but we need to look at either adding a few feet to the setback or doing something to mitigate the new style of home that appears to infringe on the neighbors,
Okay.
to create the harmony so we don't have to go through this again.
I agree to that.
I agree. Isaac?
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Nothing? Nothing.
I'd like to bring back next month the item for SUFLA for the public parks. It's been a couple years, so I want to bring that back. And so I'll work with staff to bring that up for the next month's agenda. Yeah.
That's the electric charging station.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Council reports, Elizabeth.
I'm going to keep this super brief. I just want to congratulate Isaac on his appointment. I think that was wonderful. And we have 2 town events that are going on this month that I think we're all very excited about. One of them is the car show on October 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Kane Concourse. Please come out, bring your children, bring your family, tell your friends. We're very excited and grateful for our participants and for Parks and Recreation for helping to put that together. And then we have the Trick or Treat event that's going on the 31st. We are meeting at the school field after school, correct still?
Right, yes.
It's a great event, also sponsored by Parks and Recreation and with our local business community members that are participating. Bring your kids out, they can go trick-or-treating, then there's usually like a little party afterwards. It's a really cute event, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to Town Hall for the information.
Kelly.
I'll just say that with a big election coming up, a nationwide election on November 6th, we have a Bay Harbor referendum question, we have numerous county amendments and state amendments, and it really does require that one looks at a sample ballot. You shouldn't think you can go to the polls and just wing it, because it requires a lot of homework. And when you go to the Dade County Elections website and you put your town in there, you can get your sample ballot, and it'll give you enough time. But it really does take, maybe
And
an
it's very
hour
large.
of research for those amendments. I encourage everyone to.
Thank you. Isaac? Nothing?
My calendar,
Okay.
apart from what
Jordan, anything? No? No? Okay, let's move on.
So-
Oh, Bob, I'm sorry.
I was just going to mention that.
I'm sorry.
as well.
Because I just want to
I was waiting for the next one.
I wanted to sort of, echo what Kelly said, because I went to a luncheon given by the Ethics Commission earlier this month, and the speakers were Roberto Martinez and Robert Cuevas, who spoke about all the constitutional amendments, and I think that there are 12 proposed constitutional amendments at this point, several county charter questions, as well as our own charter question. And a lot of them are complicated, and as Kelly said, the voters should make an effort to, to educate themselves, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk about these, since I did attend that presentation. With respect to the town's ballot issue, I just wanted to make it clear, because I wasn't certain that it was clear enough in the town's newsletter, whether you're for it or against it. Just understand that it only applies to the 5 or 6 tracts or lots that are currently on the north and the south ends of the town, and it doesn't apply to any other properties on the East Island. I've seen discussions and heard discussions that it's going to spread throughout the town. It's not. So, whatever decision you make for or against, just understand this limited scope of that ordinance. And anybody who has questions about that too, I'm happy to talk to you about it. You can call me, email me, all of my contact information is available through the town's website.
Okay,
I'm saying one thing.
No,
Stop by your
no.
house. Yeah, one second.
What's that?
One second. I'd say, okay, real quick, just one thing real quick. Just like several of the other members up here, I attended the Florida League of Cities meeting last month. This one has been canceled due to the hurricane. Our thoughts are with everybody up in the Panhandle. Let me just say one other thing. Also, I attended the Pizza with the Cops, Kathleen's essential program.
Right.
Just remind everybody, we do this very often. It is a fantastic event. There was a great attendance. Chief did a great job, and I appreciate everybody who comes out there. Please attend one in the future.
Okay. Town management report.
Okay, I'm going to try to go quickly. As it was mentioned, our car show is on the 21st. Ken Eskin is in the audience. It was really his pushing and his idea that got that going. Ken actually met with some of with Cobra Joe, who we used as the producer of this. We also we wanted to make sure that Kane Concourse, and we got all our landscaping really completed, and we should be completed by the 21st. So those bushes should be replaced.
It's from what time to what time?
It's 10 to 2. You'll see, we'll be closing down the street earlier, and about around 6 o'clock, between 5:30 and 6, and taking over the street. But the actual hours are 10 to 2. The top lot, we talked about resurfacing that and a shade structure. We've met with Rep Services. We're working on that already, and also to look at an additional park enhancement, whether it's going to be in the top lot or more likely in 92nd Street, where there's really nothing down there, but it would include some structure with a shade over it, but we're working on that currently. We met with West Construction on the park, 95th Street Park. They're going to move ahead very quickly. We're on kind of a timeline to get that done quickly by December, and we should have that, because it's very simple plan, we should have that done fairly quickly, and they said, well, they're going to do it a lot faster than the time that we gave them. A roadway replacement program, those contracts were signed, so you are going to see some roadway resurfacing on the West Island, on the north side. It's all part of the program to keep our streets in really good condition, and anywhere there needs to be some repairs, where there's been some sinking or settlement, those will be repaired before those road is done. Story time at the park started. We have a new storyteller, and I heard she's really good. Had good report. Teen movie, matinee. Youth movie, I'm sorry, I say teen. Ferdinand. I know, I saw the movie, it's actually a really good movie. They had 30 children attend, and it was very well received. We have the open house this Sunday for anybody who's going to register for programs. If you come in on Sunday, you don't pay the registration fee. You still have to pay for the program, but not that fee. And I have the Broad Causeway, the Shepherd Broad Causeway Improvement Lap Project. I'm going to let J.C. talk to this. This is a project that's $1.2 million, and J.C. has been the one that's really been doing that.
Well, I appreciate that, Ron. The lab project has, or the certification has already been approved by the Florida Department of Transportation. As part of that, they reviewed our bid documents, and just yesterday we got our notice to proceed. So within the next 30 days, we're going to be advertising this project. Next month, I will be bringing to you guys a contract from one of our engineering firms. We're going to get a proposal to do the CEI work, which is the construction, engineering, and inspections. What they do is, since this is with federal dollars, they will assist in not only the inspections, but also all the paperwork, the interviews with the workers, because you have to follow the federal wage requirements. So they're going to be doing all the reporting for us. So I'll be bringing that next month.
My last announcement is something that it's deep in my heart. I know I've spoken to you all individually, but I'm announcing that I'm going to be resigning my position as the town manager and going to another nearby community. But before I do that, I just would like to tell everybody here how much I appreciate, and it's been a real pleasure and an honor to work for everybody here. You know, I make my home here. It's not something that I take lightly, and we've had ups and downs, and I compliment everybody here. The job that we get to do collectively, it's only done because we have your support. It doesn't mean at times we disagree and we have our moments when we're kind of mad at each other, but at the end, you know, we always come together, and that you can't ask for more than that. And it's been really fantastic. And just coming down, that you took the opportunity to bring me down from New York, which you didn't have to do. And I know it was kind of you to say, after I'd said no first, and I said, oh, I changed my mind after the first snowstorm in March we had in a long time. I said that kind of did it for me, but I appreciate it, and you'll always be the first one in my heart.
Is that why you guys got dressed up like you're going to a bar mitzvah?
Just to wear long sleeves.
So, that is my, I just wanted to make that known to you all.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Mayor,
Yes.
Ron, I do too want to thank you for your service. You've given 11 years, great years to the town. We've accomplished a lot over that period of time, and I thank you, and I wish you well in your new endeavors. I'd like to, if town council thinks it's appropriate, I'd like to move that the town negotiate a contract with our assistant town manager, J.C. Jimenez, to be the new town manager, subject again to the successful negotiation of such contract and approval by the town council.
I second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Well, hold on a second, I have a question. Shouldn't this be something that was noticed? I mean, I'm not saying I disagree, I'm just saying for the air on the, to show, I mean, he's not leaving.
Well, that's why I said subject to
Yeah,
council's
I'm just
approval.
gonna
If not,
say-
I would just ask for the consensus of the council.
I mean,
The answer is that it can certainly be done. The ratification and approval of a contract would be an agenda item, and what I would say is if there's a consensus of the council to negotiate a contract with the J.C., that the town attorney's office be directed along with, let's say, the mayor, to negotiate and provide the council with a draft contract. Ron, you didn't say when you plan on leaving, or did I miss that? But what is...
I know it's 60 days.
from October 3rd, so
From the 3rd.
December 3rd.
Right, that's
Okay.
what it says.
You'll be here through the November meeting, is your plan?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be the answer.
So then if there's a consensus of the council,
I mean, I just, again,
Consent.
I
Yes.
do too.
oh.
Agreed.
Agreed. Anybody not?
It's not that I'm in disagreement, I just think that there should be an item on the agenda, since that this is something that the public wasn't
No,
aware of.
I agree this should be on there, but they can start the negotiations. We don't think it's going to be ratified until we've had public comment.
Right, when the contract is finished, it'll be on the
It just
agenda.
needs to be on the agenda.
No, I agree, but
Put
it's
it on the
just...
agenda.
Right, so the motion and second is to negotiate a contract through the town attorney's office with the mayor.
Correct.
J.C. Jimenez. I do say, and I think Jordan's right, before the contract would be binding,
Sure.
signed by the
course.
council, we would have it on an agenda item
Correct.
for the
Correct.
public.
The public.
to weigh in.
Right,
Public comment.
absolutely.
public and anybody can weigh in on that at that point.
Okay, so,
So
Hold on,
there's a
JC, you wanna
motion
say something?
and
I
Is
just-
there a vote?
Hold on, you got a comment from JC?
I just wanted to say, it's overwhelming, the support, so I really appreciate it after 16 years here. I'm so excited for the opportunity. There's so many things I'd like to do here. I'm just really excited. And so I can't wait to work with you guys, and having your support just propelled me into just keep going. So I thank you so much.
Thank you.
So there is a consensus.
yes,
Yes, there's
yes.
consensus. I think that's all you need.
Do you need a roll call?
You want to vote?
Okay, so
All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Can you have a vote if it's not on the agenda?
The motion is to negotiate a contract with.
And
But
then
it's
we'll
not,
get back
but
to
it's
the
not
council.
noticed, so that's what I'm asking.
Yes, he said.
Leave it up to the
It's just,
town
it's just
attorney.
authority, it's not, we're
If
not
you-
actually...
right.
'cause
We're not approving
Jordan,
a contract.
There's nothing here that's actually being done by the council other than telling them to look into something and to negotiate. It's nothing that's actually becoming formal.
Right, I mean, if you prefer to do it without a formal motion,
I think it would be better without a formal motion, or it should be something noticed.
attorney.
Just-
Well,
I mean,
that's-
it's,
That's, well, I think the rest of us are sort of in agreement, Jordan, so let's move on.
all right, good.
Okay.
Did you vote against it?
I'm not aware of us voting.
We were.
Everyone voted.
Everyone
just said
voted.
aye.
So, well, Jordan, what's your vote?
Okay, I'll say my piece. I'm not against it, I'm against the process. I think what we need to do is actually have a noticed item where we formally say we want to do it. We only hire 3 people in this town. We hire the manager, we hire the clerk, and we hire the attorney. I think to be err on the side of caution, I think to be fully open and transparent, I think to have an item on the agenda saying that we want to make the assistant manager the manager, and do that, says that you have to put it on the agenda and actually have a meeting and say, yes, we do it. And yes, it's a formality that may take 2 minutes, but it's something that puts it out on the agenda, and it's different. For all of us that are probably in this room, we already knew ahead of time that the manager resigned, and we know, all of us know, that the assistant manager wants to be the manager. But that does not negate the fact there's 6,000 people that live in this town, and most of them do not know. And I'm not saying I'm voting against him, I'm saying that there needs to be an agenda item to formally say it. And to just say, yes, we want to have him without having it even on the agenda is disingenuous to the thousands of residents.
Well, Jordan, that's why I said what I was doing was subject to the town attorney's advice that it was appropriate to do it that way. If the town attorney thinks that it's not appropriate to do it that way, then I still am looking for the consensus of the council to proceed, because I don't want to wait until our November meeting to direct the town attorney and
To
the
begin
mayor
the process.
to begin the process of attempting to negotiate a contract with J.C. So really, that's what I'm trying to do,
Jordan, we're not
is
hiring.
not wait 30 days
Is
to
there
get...
an
hiring him
additional
until we have-
expense?
so we have an open
doing
We
meeting.
asked for an
this?
agenda
No,
item,
part of his
and
retainer, so.
I asked for an agenda item, and there's not an agenda item.
Okay.
know,
So there will be,
Before we
Jordan,
hire,
there will be,
there'll be an
there will be an agenda item next month
Right.
to ratify the contract that we're
Right.
making with...
Can we proceed as such?
Well,
Or
You-
how do,
Yes, you can proceed as such as occurred here already. We're not making a commitment. We haven't hired the assistant manager. All that you've directed the town attorney and mayor is to negotiate and draft a contract. And that, the discussion item, the item to be voted on at the November meeting will be discussion and vote on, one, whether to hire J.C. Jimenez as the new town manager, and two, to enter into and execute the contract, copy attached.
let's put them as two agenda items. Let's do it that way.
I have
Let's
no
have
problem.
one clean,
Carly,
open
I-
discussion,
You know,
second as... the
Before,
vote.
Mayor, I know it's late, but before we move on, I feel compelled to just go on record by saying a couple of things about, these two guys to my right. Guys. You too, but I'm talking about them. We have been and we are so fortunate to have had, dedicated, loyal, intelligent, personable leaders, like Ron and J.C. Just for the record, Ron is leaving us, not to go to some small little town in the middle of the state. Ron is leaving us to go to be the manager of Aventura, which is a neighboring city, so he won't be that far away, but...
Let's see this.
I mean, that's, I think that's a great...
You know where you live.
And I think that's a great accomplishment. That's no small thing, and for us to have an opportunity to just, unplug our manager and plug in, our assistant manager that's been with us. Not only has he been with us for 16 years, he started as the assistant to the manager, became the assistant town manager years ago. And not only that, he, just for the record, J.C. has been in the running, and, he let us all know, privately, but his resume, has been vetted for months and months by the city of Miami Lakes. And he is one of the top 3 candidates for the city manager of the town of Miami Lakes. And he has been, he's been vetted, through and through. He's been through many interview processes. And, if we don't offer him the job as our manager, we would be losing an individual with an incredible amount of institutional knowledge. And in my opinion, hiring him as our manager, would be the most prudent and appropriate thing to do for this town. Because, we could plug him in, we could continue uninterrupted, and not only that, no offense to Ron, but he's a little bit younger. He's better looking. And he's shared with us some great ideas he has for our town going forward. So, I don't want to just flippantly say, yes, negotiate a contract, but, we welcome you.
Let's see.
Okay.
Do you want to have a special council meeting just for this so that we can wrap it up?
I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. I just,
Asking.
I said that, what I said pretty quickly, but I just want to make the point that, I have worked with J.C. for 16 years, through 3 different managers and have gone through manager search processes. But, I know that J.C. is one of the most competent people in this state. In any community in this, any town, city, village in this state would do well by having J.C. as its manager. And so I wanted to make sure that we took the opportunity as quickly as possible to initiate this process and make it clear that, J.C. is the person to be the next town manager, assuming obviously all of the, the elements of a contract are negotiated, that's all.
And we
So-
hope Miami Lakes isn't watching this video.
No,
I'm not, that's not
Yeah.
directed at you.
No, I know.
I just, whether it was a motion or just informal, I just wanted to make it clear.
First, Ron, I want to thank you for your service and wish you the best in Aventura. And JC, I've been in the town for 20 years, and I'm familiar with your work, both, as a citizen and also here from the council. And at any given moment, if Ron were to step away, you are prepared and competent enough to take over the reins here. You have a totally different style from Ron. You complement each other. And I'm very excited about your education, your knowledge, and you've written us some of the things that you like to do. You've talked to all of us, and some of those things, personally, are a lot of the things that I've been hoping, that we're going in the right direction. So even bringing in another competent manager from somewhere else, there'll be such a learning curve for them, to have to take over. I feel that you are more than ready, and you have been somewhat reserved out of respect to Ron because he's in charge, and it's very clear. So I see that you complement each other, but what I'm
Door's closed.
yeah, so I'm really very excited about the possibility. So whatever works out for you personally, would always wish you the best, but I hope it works out for those of us here.
I assure you, I'm very excited about the possibilities here.
Yeah. And again, I'm not disagreeing with the process. In fact, I think we're all in consensus. My only issue is the fact of saying we're going to nominate somebody without having it on the agenda. I think that if you want to be transparent, we should have it as an agenda item. That's my only issue, and it doesn't take away with any of the qualities of JC. So it's not about you versus someone else, it's about the process. And I think that when the council has this, one of the only duties we have is to hire the manager, being transparent and having, even if it's a 5-minute meeting, at least we had a noticed meeting. And that's why, by the way, I specifically asked for it to be an agenda item on this meeting.
He has to vote, so...
You're the only
have
one
to
who
vote,
has to
though, one way or
vote,
another.
so we need you to vote.
No, I vote no.
Okay.
And it's out of principle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, I'm sorry. I think being here almost 20 years gives me half a minute to say.
Of course.
I have worked with JC for 16 years. I have seen him with 3 different managers, completely 3 different styles. He has learned and grown through those 16 years, and he is ready. And he has my full support, and he has the support of a lot of our staff who are here in our chambers. And I wanted to make sure that that was said, because basically we're here and we're ready to work with him, and we're ready to make sure that he succeeds.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Mayor, I'll just add the final thing. I've been here for 2 years, and I'm feeling very old, but someone on this council said I haven't changed since, and I'm not going to say who, it's my picture on the bulletin board, which is a total lie, but I will say that
But we do need to update.
I've not seen anyone more competent than JC. He ranks with, and will rank with the best that we've had, and that includes Ron.
You've changed your cars, though.
Yeah.
You changed your cars. We might
You gave it away.
we might have to look at your contract.
Okay. We're good in welfare.
Public comment.
We pulled out the way.
Public comment.
Yeah, we pulled out the way.
Okay. 1 second. Kathleen Kennedy.
My name is Kathleen Kennedy. Ron, I'm sure going to miss you. You have made this town beautiful. Just look at it, 11 years. And all the accolades go to you. I know JC's going to follow in your footsteps. But Ron, everything I've asked for, everything that you had an open door policy, I was happy to be your reference at Aventura. number 2, I would like to suggest that we have employees of the month, because there are employees working here that are absolutely frigging amazing, and they need to be recognized, and I would like that to be discussed with the administration, and to give them a 3-day holiday instead of money. And number 3, I'm tired of looking at Eileen Wallace on my Facebook, representing a developer. And I would like a law, this is for you, Sherman, why should an ex-mayor be on my Facebook promoting a developer, the Continental, or whatever it's called, and I have to look at her every day on my Facebook?
I don't know.
I think it's a conflict of interest, and I think a new law should be written that an ex-mayor should not be working for a developer and be on my Facebook page. I'm sick and tired of it. How they got my Facebook, I don't know. I don't know if they're on anybody else's Facebook, but it should not be. So what do you think of that, gentlemen, ladies?
Constitutional.
Yeah, right.
Is there not a conflict?
There's a little box on your Facebook thing, and you can like block those posts.
Right.
Okay.
Just block the post, you don't have to look at it.
You know, she hasn't been in elected office in years, and it's a free country. She can do whatever she wants, frankly.
But she's an ex-mayor.
So what? Doesn't make any difference. She is entitled to say what she wants.
She was responsible for a lot of the developers that are tearing down some of these buildings, and I think that I don't think it's right.
And anybody, any former elected official in this town can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Free country.
They're good. She's,
You know, it's the United States. I mean, you know, there's no restriction on former
Politicians?
former
Politicians?
politicians in this town.
I think there's a 2-year,
supporting
and then
any
that's it.
type
Is there-
of.
No, she can, there's nothing,
Yeah.
but that's not lobbying, any kind of statement
I
is
get, but
making a
that's the
public
only thing that
statement.
there is the 2-year
Right,
lobby.
but that she's not lobbying
Right.
us, a
She's not
public
lobbying.
statement to the public that you can,
It's not
whatever
much
you want
to
to do.
do. Just delete her.
I don't think they're right.
I'll take your advice, Isaac, I'll just,
Just,
but I just think that it's not right.
I on Facebook, I want to know.
I don't know.
Okay? I just think it's conflict of interest. Okay, anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
And, JC, welcome. And I
Thank you.
know you're going to do wonders at the community center. I'm looking forward to working with you and making things wonderful and bringing new ideas and all that good stuff. And thank you, Josh, for the compliments for Pizza with the Cops. I was at my budget meeting at my building, which I was able to stop, which is the reason why I was not
No,
there.
you deserve it. It's a great.
Otherwise, you know I would be there. And, but it's a great program, and thank you all for supporting that program, by the way.
Do you think it might be a good idea? I like the idea of employee of the month. Maybe every month is like a little bit too much since we have a very...
Whatever, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, maybe every quarter.
Every
and maybe
quarter, maybe every
Spoken like
quarter.
an
something like that be,
Quarterly.
should something like that be run through the Parks and Recreation?
Oh, no, I
committee, so
think
you
it should be
guys-
done from
So they
the
can submit applications to you to...
Well, I think that we should all like recommend, I think we should put our recommendations into the city manager.
Yes.
And I have one already, and it's a traffic lady.
Okay.
And I think everybody knows the story of the old lady, 81 years old, who is a traffic lady.
I think it's
And she
really-
gives all our kids, when it's their birthdays, the dollars in their birthday cards. And she is absolutely amazing, and I just want her recognized. And there's a couple of staff here that are also wonderful. I just want them recognized, that's all. And Bridget's another one.
Can I say that one of the nicest thing you can do for an employee is to write a letter or an email, because that can end up in their permanent file. When they do something nice, whether it's a civilian employee, a police officer, management, and that remains a permanent record. But, so often people, they criticize before they're willing to say nice things,
It's a
so
great idea. It's a great
put it in
idea.
writing.
Yeah. But I thought giving them a 3-day vacation is also a good thing.
That's a little bit...
That's,
That's a little bit robust, but...
We're not paying for the
Maybe
vacation.
All right, thank you. Take note, and Ron, once again,
Thank
the
you.
best.
Good.
Having tourists, so lucky. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ken Askin? we do have Employee of the Year.
Yeah, right, no, we know.
Don't stop me. Ken Esket, 1310 99th Street. First, let me apologize for my attire, but I came right from my yoga class at the community center. And if I knew it was going to be 9:30, I would have gone home, taken a shower, and put a suit on. But nevertheless, I'm here waiting. First, I just wanted to say that when I heard that Ron was leaving, I had mixed emotions. I've always had a good relationship with him, with the administration, and I guess it was 11 years ago when it was at the vote. As president of the Homeowners Association, I had one of the votes, and I voted for him very strongly. And now she beat me. I wanted to be the first citizen to voice my support for JC, so I'll be the second. I hope it works out, and that's a good luck. The other thing I just wanted to mention, I don't know how many people get it. You're aware of, Bay Harbor Islands came in number 12 amongst the 25 best cities in South Florida. Does anybody, nobody's aware of it?
No, we are aware of it.
I thought we're number 4 or something like that.
No, again.
Oh, in the safest, no, that's the best cities. That's like a general...
The 25 best cities in South Florida.
What was it published in?
The Florida Business Journal, the South Florida Business Journal.
And what number are we?
We're number 12.
All right, JC, take note.
Right.
We only accept top 10.
I mean,
We only accept top 10.
we're behind like Weston, and we're behind Pinecrest. Those
Where's
aren't-
that?
They're not too shabby.
Are we ahead of Aventura?
What I don't understand.
Too much traffic. Too much traffic. Too much traffic.
The one I don't understand is that we're actually behind Palmetto Bay.
Oh,
We're like 4 behind Palmetto Bay.
how could that be?
Because they haven't driven down there to find it.
Population's like 400 and a bunch of snakes.
Brickell was number 1.
It's not even a city.
Brickell's not a city.
Yeah.
Hey,
Brickell.
I didn't write it. Omni was
But we
like-
just moved up to 10.
Yeah, Omni was number 3, and I can't get to the other ones.
All right.
So again, thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you. Okay, Fran Newhut.
Thank you, Ken.
Francis Newhut, 1060 Kane Concourse. Although $1.69 million was budgeted for information technology to improve notifications, I found it quite disgraceful that our council would ban planning and zoning and council meetings from public broadcasting channel 88, especially for the elderly. Unlike other municipalities, why hasn't the council scheduled public meetings to discuss the harmful effects and costs of the following environmental issues? Global warming, sea level rise. There appears to be no enforcement with raising and replacing of new seawalls with new development, nor flooding mitigation projects, including and installing proper drainage. Ignoring addressing king tide and red tide when dead fish are appearing on our docks and making believe that that does not occur in our small town. Increasing temperatures. Why isn't council mitigating for increased open green space, breezeways, and the heating effect of artificial turf? Soil testing. Insecticides, arsenic, and other contaminants found in Bay Harbor Island's landfill, especially when there was the excavation at the RKB Public School in 2008. Why isn't council requiring soil testing and cleaning up before demolition and/or construction approval? Drinking water. Is our town checking the old pipes for lead contamination and/or PCBs? Safety removing asbestos and other contaminants before demolition begins, such as the store building at 1177 King Concourse, or oil contamination removal at Ocean Cadillac at 1000 King Concourse, before the Owners Church by the Sea BDS movement allowed this mess to seep through into and adding properties as well as my own, the dangers of this. We should be planning and discussing possible solutions instead of ignoring the possible serious effects that may have on both ourselves and our children. And this is going on in all of these communities. And I never see anything on the agenda to this effect. Now that I'm finished, congratulations. And I knew ahead of time that you were going. So I'm very surprised that, we had a little carrying on there, but I'm sure you also know, and I think it's very nice. Thank you, J.C.
Thank you.
Marlene, can you mention the Sustainability and Resiliency Committee? Do we have a date yet?
No, one of the people that was appointed already resigned. I'm playing phone tag with some others that haven't turned in their required Form 1, and so I'm trying to gather all that stuff so they can have their meeting and get going.
So,
Padilla, Luis Padilla.
So we do expect that committee would be looking into some of the things, sea level rise, that Mrs. Newhut mentioned.
All the stuff that she mentioned. Yeah,
It's coming, Mrs. Newhut. There will be a committee to look at that and make recommendations to us.
What's the full name? Sustainability, it's environment and sustainability? Or
No.
What is it called?
Sustainability and Resiliency Committee.
And they'll be setting they might even change the name, but they'll be setting their mission statement.
That will come back to you guys
Yeah.
for approval.
Okay, thank you.
Former Mayor Linda Zilber, West Island. I don't mean to one-up all of you, but I've been here for 65 years. And I would like to thank Ron. Thank you for being a fantastic, fantastic town manager. And when I was mayor, a young man came to this town that I fell in love with. And I am so glad that J.C. will now become a town manager. Thank you both.
Thank you, Linda.
You
Okay.
actually made him blush a little bit.
By the way, he had a little black hair once.
I know.
And a smaller forehead. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say.
Consent agenda.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 6.
Approval of an ordinance on second reading, amending Chapter 20 of the Town Code relating utility building and collections.
An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, amending Chapter 20 of the town's adopted Code of Ordinances entitled Utilities by amending Section 20-7, 20-11, and 2015.1 to provide for uniform billing, payment, collection, and the filing of liens in connection with utilities, providing for severability, providing for codifications, and providing for an effective date.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Second.
Ron, and this includes an addition that we made, the
Yes.
notifications.
The
at last-
notifications
Right, didn't we,
for...
because I think
Oh,
we moved
there
it
is,
with the
yes,
condition,
yes,
that's
yes.
included.
Notifications are in there.
Okay, call the vote. All those in favor?
That's Paul vote.
Paul vote, sorry.
Mrs. Newhut has a...
All right, Ms. Newhart, come forward, please, quickly.
Okay, Francis Newhut, 1060 Kane Concourse. I think Employee of the Year should be the Water Department. Except I'm a little, the only thing that I ask, because you are going to start putting liens on properties that do not pay their water bills, okay, I'm still having a problem with some of our tenants. We have individual water bills for each tenant. So now, as I understand, they're going to me, which is fine. But we also had an agreement for people who, I guess, had problems, which, is fine. But if I'm going to be the landlord of these people and figure out they owe their bill to the town on top of everything else, and then they're telling me, well, I have a contract with the town, and then I find out they don't, and I have a $3,000 water bill stuck with myself, it's not fair. So what I'm asking of you is if we're going to follow through with this, unfortunately, we will have to get rid of the special arrangements that our tenants have with the water bill. or the sewage bill, whatever this bill is, because I'm afraid that we will get liens on the property because of an individual, or maybe individuals, and I get stuck, and it's not fair. So please, everyone should be treated the same. They should pay their water bills and not throw it in my face and say, you pay it. They're responsible, and I will take action also. Thank you.
These are civil matters, honestly, and we do not have any arrangements with, other than a property owner. That's the only one we can make any arrangement, and we really don't do that anymore. It only would have to be really, special circumstances, but that's the whole idea behind the revision of this ordinance. And, the property owner is responsible for paying the water bills. Whatever arrangements you make, that's really something you're going to take care of.
I have the agreement here, and I have some of our people who are on it. So, yes, we still have that agreement, and I really would like you to get rid of it. Thank you.
All right,
Call the question.
yeah, I just want to add something, because I know, I see that the language here, this, where's, Melissa's not, yeah, there she is, okay. Hey there. Thank you for this, like the spreadsheet. Now, this says the town manager has a discretion to waive any late fees, lien recording fees, and accrued interest. Like, there's no limitations on that, or, so, because I have a suggestion. I don't like discretionary things, because, just like Fran said, then not everybody's treated equal. If, let's say someone doesn't speak English well or something like that, and they're afraid to come forward and start arguing about their bill, they'll pay it, whereas the next door neighbor might come in and, sweet talk a couple of people and get, all their fees and fines waived. So, I suggest the following, in order, because I'd like to know what fees and fines are forgiven by staff, whether it be the manager or anyone else. And I suggest that, as we implement this, we should put a provision in there that a list, under manager reports at our monthly meeting, a list of all fine waivers and fee waivers that the town grant, whether it's the manager or any other staff member, be at least distributed to us and made part of...
Just so you know, Isaac, the 3% that's almost in lieu of these. We almost never issue liens on water bills. This is going to affect more people, because even though it's a 60-day lag, you do have people in the town that kind of pay quarterly, or, depending on their age, sometimes they forget. So that is not something that's going to be waived just because. This is something when you're negotiating a larger bill or something more serious.
I get it.
Okay.
But, I don't think it would be hard. Is this all going to be computerized, Ron and Melissa?
Yes.
Yeah, so will you be able to run a report of, what fees are generated and what fees might be waived or whatever? So I'm suggesting that we be made aware of all, like, waivers and overrides and...
I support that.
Well, no, let me say that I would support a weekly or a monthly report. I don't want to have it come in as when you first said as far as the town manager report, I don't want you reading off the names of people and accounts.
No. I just want it distributed to us.
Right, before in the weekly packet, no problem with that.
It'll be public information, but I just want to see that.
No, that's fine. I just don't want him reading off a list of names on the video.
Right, and weekly might be too often. I don't want to...
So you want to report on a monthly basis?
Yeah, that's fine. Monthly, that's fine.
Okay, call the vote.
Call vote.
Councilmember Leonard?
4.
Councilmember Reed?
4.
Councilmember Sauber?
4.
Councilmember Goche?
4.
Councilmember Yaffe?
4.
Vice Mayor Fuller?
4.
Mayor Bruder?
4.
Unanimous.
Number 7.
Item 7, consideration and approval of an ordinance on first reading, amending Chapter 16 of the Town Code, clarifying the benefits payable to beneficiaries of vested terminated members who die prior to reaching their normal retirement age.
An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, amending Chapter 16, the Town of Bay Harbor Islands Employees Retirement System of the Town of Bay Harbor Islands Code of Ordinances, clarifying the benefits payable to the beneficiaries of vested terminated members who die prior to reaching their normal retirement date, providing for severability, providing for verification, and providing for an effective date.
I'll move it.
Here's
Yeah, I'll second it for discussion. I have a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I should too, I have a question as well.
Okay, Isaac, go first.
All right, Marlene, this is from our meeting, right? This
Yes.
is from
Yes.
the retirement board meeting.
Mhm.
As the agenda item is given to us, the word budget impact is there for a reason.
That's exactly my comment.
Yeah, because I know that Melissa was at our meeting at the retirement board, and I remember that this was not a huge item. However, a number was discussed, or a relative number was discussed, and, that really should have been, is it
I
given
don't
to
think
us
there
here
is,
somewhere?
I don't think there is a budget impact, there isn't a budget impact in it.
It says inside minimal.
De minimis.
It doesn't, but
Yes.
that's still something, I agree with Isaac, because I had the same comment.
Okay.
The budget impact should be on the front page saying what the number is. And it's-
Right, this is
I don't think they could, I don't know if Melissa can come up, but I don't know if they could literally
Give a
come up,
range,
because
give
we've
a range.
only had one person bring this up. It's,
We're not going to hold you to it, but it's an
No,
estimate
no, no.
range, and I don't mean
We
to
had the
interrupt, but-
actuary actually was at the meeting.
Right.
He was asked the question, and he said it was negligible,
Right,
basically.
negligible,
Right,
and
right.
as of right now, it impacts 3 employees.
You mean, well, it doesn't impact 3 employees.
Yeah.
It
Three
will.
employees, right, it could potentially.
Potentially.
impact 3
Right.
employees.
If I drop that tomorrow.
There was never a dollar amount specified, though. Or actually, I said it was...
I have a question. Are there any employees that did not receive their benefits because they died before? In other words, they
There was one.
left our employee and they passed away before their age?
Yes.
Has that happened? Because I asked staff and they couldn't tell me. So
no,
I'm not aware of that.
no.
So it's never happened.
This came about because of...
No, I know why.
Okay, you know why.
I just want to know if anyone missed out. So
No.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you. Poll vote.
Okay. Councilmember Yaffe?
4.
Councilmember Chicoche?
4.
Councilmember Salver?
4.
Councilmember Reed?
4.
Councilmember Leonard?
4.
Vice Mayor Fuller?
4.
Mayor Bruder?
4.
Unanimous.
Okay, next one. Number 8.
Item 8, consideration and approval of the design of an emergency repair for the damaged precast pre-stressed
I'll
U-channel.
move it.
Okay. A boat, looks like a boat hit it or something a while ago, and it was noticed, so we're just going to repair it.
Fix it.
Wasn't our boat, right?
Okay.
I want to find that out of the boat.
Fix it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 9.
Item 9, discussion and possible action requested by Councilmember Leonard of an agreement with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra of London in the amount of $6,000 to host the December 30th, 2018 classical chamber music concert. Hopefully at the park. I'll move it.
All right, thanks. I have a
Wait,
second.
in our new amphitheater?
Yeah, well,
The inaugural concert?
I want two things, though. If we're spending the money especially, let's please get it in the newsletter so that
Yeah.
it's advertised as much as possible. And 2, well, I was going to say Ron, but JC, get the park done.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's the, is
Facebook
that
and
the date,
Instagram, the whole
is that
nine
the
yards.
only date they can do it, December 30th?
The thing is, they're working on doing events in Surfside and Bal Harbor, mostly with the hotels, although Surfside's going to have one in the park. And when we originally discussed this, keep in mind, this was a year ago, this was when I was still mayor, we thought that having it on the Sunday was the best because New Year's would have been on a Monday. So this actually, we kind of timed it, and this event is actually going to be the longest event that they do. So we kind of timed it this way, and we thought, the staff and I and the representative thought this might work out.
How many people are in this thing?
I think they have a half dozen members, but they're all from different philharmonics around the world. So that's kind of the cool thing, that they're from different parts of the world.
But are you saying that Surfside's doing this and so then
And Bal Harbor is too, but ours is more geared towards the residents. Bal Harbor, for example, is doing it in their hotels for, so it's a little bit different.
When do we expect the park to be done? Would this coincide with like a grand opening or something?
Pretty close to that.
Very close, yes. We could definitely tie it to a grand opening.
It's got to be really complete, but also, JC, if you can work on, or Ron, but whoever's going to be doing it right now, start scheduling, I think food trucks as well. If you're going to make this an event, I don't want to have everybody there have, no food service or anything like
Right.
that. Let's try and...
We'll block off the street.
Let's make a showcase for
90th
it.
Street.
And then also, let's plan on maybe at the same time, as long as we're doing that, have something inside the community center that provides information about other resources that we provide. So when people walk in, they're going to learn a little bit more about the center.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. And make sure we advertise this early, like in the schools, so that as people make their plans during Christmas and New Year's, they can mark it on their calendar.
Is there a vote?
Philharmonic learns real well
Right.
at a pretty...
Well, I mean, it's a holiday. No, but parents like to
Yeah,
bring
parents
their
will.
kids. It's a holiday. Okay, we need a poll vote or just
No,
a vote?
that was
Okay.
just Christmas,
All
no
those
vote.
in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, number 10.
Approval of a 3-year contract with Super Soccer Stars to provide the town's recreational soccer program, which includes after-school, tournament soccer, and pee-wee soccer.
I would like to change the 3 years.
Yeah, it's a little bit long, right?
It's long. I like to do a 1 year and
That's fine.
see who comes out, because I know that
But wait, does that change what happened because of the bidding?
No. It doesn't change anything at all. The way they submitted their bid, it's on a yearly basis. What I was trying to do was lock them in for 3 years and not have to do this every year.
Well, is it-
But I understand completely. and we
Well,
can do
we
that.
discussed it, but if we don't do a 3-year, does the price change?
No.
Okay.
But they can come back after the first year when we go back out to them, right?
So then,
Yeah, if we go, like, let's say we just do this for this school year, for this year, we go out to bid at the end of the year.
So they can
and-
change their price at the end of the year.
And then they can change, when they resubmit, they can change.
But with the 3-year, we can terminate, right?
Yeah, you can terminate at any time throughout this
So we
whole
hold
process.
them in the
Put it up to the
contract,
3
not
year
for
and
3
terminate
years,
if
but
we
we can
don't like it.
terminate it whenever we want.
Right.
And you can terminate.
Oh, regardless, we have to have it moved and seconded for
Okay, wait,
discussion.
so then we
I'll
can
move it.
terminate at any
I'll second it
time.
for discussion.
Yes, we can terminate at any time, this
Okay,
contract.
so then let's do the 3 years, because
You
they'll
lock them
hold
in?
them.
Okay.
And then
I
we'll...
would also like to request, and I know that you and I talked about this, that, we bring them in and have them sit with maybe Parks and Rec and talk about what they think is possible with our program to
Perfect.
make it the best program that it can be.
I already spoke with Kathleen earlier today that, to bring them into the Parks and Rec.
I think that'd be great.
If you can come forward, please. Thank
Maybe
you.
notice some of the soccer moms and dads too. Yeah, the parents can come out to the Parks and Rec meeting then and talk about what they're looking for, and it can be
I'll
collaborative.
send them an invitation to those
But I'm saying, yeah,
parents.
notice everybody.
She's on time.
Okay, Francis Newhart, 1060 Kane Concourse. I'm tired of us, meaning Bay Harbor Islands, when we have 2 other communities, Surfside and Bell Harbor. We're not the poorest, we're not the richest that we can do these things, but when I look at this and it says, the town of Bay Harbor Islands will pay Super Soccer Stars $14 per kid per class, no matter if they are residents or non-residents. 1 soccer shirt will be given to each kid every season, and all the soccer equipment is included in the price. Okay, so it upsets me because when we ask for them to share their swimming pool, we're schlepping to Miami Shores. When we asked to use their basketball court, they were very limited in allowing us to use their park. Even with the school and the verifications, number 5, it says here, the school board shall invoice the town.
You need to stay
Okay,
on,
but
please. Thank you.
our town is paying for all these things for the kids, which I think is nice. I love them. They're wonderful. And if we're going to go along with this, we had to fight for a policeman to be shared by the 3. Well, I think all these other initiatives that we're making, especially with the school does not belong just to Bay Harbor Island children, that we should have all 3 in their meetings as well, discuss the issues that we're having here, and at least ask them to help in paying for these things as well, because they're not reciprocating with anything that they own, and I don't think it's fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to clarify,
But the parents pay.
this is just, what she was reading off is what the company charges us. They don't charge us more because a non-resident is there, right? They charge us per child, and that's what we pay.
And
When we turn around and when during registration, especially for Pee Wee soccer, we do charge a resident, non-resident rate.
So there are,
These families are paying,
Oh.
and based whether you're a
Well, this
resident or
is
not a
very
resident.
confusing.
No, this is a net zero game, right?
Yeah, because we
This is
charge,
not- right.
Oh, okay, well then I just misread it.
Fees, right,
Okay.
fees mitigate the cost of this. so-
right.
Thank you.
And we
Yeah.
charge,
Thank you.
we do charge.
Okay,
But again, it would be nice if we had our other two towns involved. Thank you.
thank you.
Call the question.
Okay, I call, all those, do we need a poll? No.
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 11.
Item 11, consideration and approval to utilize the National Joint Powers Alliance contract with Tyler Technologies for the purchase and implementation of a new financial software system for the town in the amount of $108,295. The system will include modules for general ledger accounts, payable, HR, payroll, and utility billing. This is,
Second.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I just want to know, I realize that this is from the government RFP piggyback, but is this the most desired
actually,
program?
you had
I
called
talked
up
to the guy.
and said, can you check out these guys from Tyler? And Melissa was already ahead of us and was already talking to them, and it's going to be better than, I don't want to say it, but...
They were
it's
vendors
well
at the League of Cities.
Okay. Full vote.
Okay. Councilmember Yaffe?
4.
Councilmember Tricoche?
4.
Councilmember Saber?
4.
Councilmember Reed? 4. Councilmember Leonard?
4.
Vice Mayor Fuller?
4.
Mayor Bruder?
4.
Unanimous.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Now I left.
Okay.